What actually is psychotherapy? The origins, methods, areas of application and limitations. Over the last 150 years, psychotherapy has developed into a central component of mental health care. Its roots go back deep into the history of mankind, consciously talking about worries, fears and inner conflicts is as old as human language itself. However, it was not until the late 19th and early 20th centuries that psychotherapy emerged as an independent, scientifically based method. Origin and development of psychotherapy. Modern psychotherapy can essentially be traced back to the work of Sigmund Freud, who developed psychoanalysis, a method that focuses on the unconscious. Freud recognized that many psychological ailments can be caused by repressed experiences and inner conflicts, and attempted to make these accessible through therapeutic conversation and the interpretation of dreams. Over the decades, psychoanalysis developed into numerous other approaches that explain and treat human experience and behavior in different ways. The various psychotherapeutic approaches can be roughly divided into four main currents. The four streams of psychotherapy. First one is depth, psychologically based and analytical methods. These forms of therapy are based on the assumption that unconscious conflicts and early childhood imprints influence our current feelings and behavioral patterns. The aim is to uncover, understand and process unconscious dynamics. Second one is behavioral therapy. Behavioral therapy is based on learning theory and focuses on specific current problems and behaviors. It assumes that many psychological complaints are caused by learned unfavorable behavioral patterns that can be replaced by new, healthier patterns. Number 3, humanistic methods. The focus here is on the person's own striving for personal growth, self-realization and authentic experience. The therapist treats the client as an equal and with great respect. Number 4, systemic therapy. Systemic therapy does not view psychological suffering in isolation, but in the context of social relationships, especially the family. Symptoms are understood as an expression of communication or relationship dynamics. The aim is to make existing patterns visible and open up new perspectives. What does psychotherapy help with? Well, psychotherapy is a proven method for a variety of psychological, psychosomatic and emotional problems. It can help with depression, anxiety and panic disorders, post-traumatic stress disorders, PTSD, obsessive compulsive disorders, eating disorders, for instance like anorexia or bulimia, personality disorders, sleep disorders of psychological origin, chronic pain, the form of somatoform disorders, crisis and stressful situations, self-esteem problems and inner emptiness, relationship problems as mentioned, and separation situations, dealing with loss and grief, crisis of meaning and orientation in life. The aim is not only to alleviate symptoms, but above all to understand the underlying causes and to develop new ways of thinking, feeling and behaving. So where does psychotherapy reach its limits? as effective as psychotherapy can be, it sometimes reaches its limits. There are clear limits to its effectiveness. For instance, organically caused mental disorders, such as severe neurological disorders or dementia, that cannot usually be treated by psychotherapy alone. So close cooperation with a doctor is required here. Psychotherapy as a path to healing. Psychotherapy is a powerful tool for healing and developing the soul. It addresses inner processes, helps to understand and process stressful experiences, and promotes personal maturity and a joy of life. I would also like to say a few words about the forms of therapy I prefer to work with. So, there's the Gestalt therapy. This is a humanistic method that assumes that healing is primarily possible through conscious perception, direct experience and personal responsibility. The focus is on the here and now. How do you experience yourself in this moment? What thoughts, feelings and physical sensations are present, and what is perhaps being avoided, split off or not expressed? The aim of the so-called Gestalt therapy is to bring the unresolved inner Gestalt. This is like unprocessed experiences, conflicts or needs into consciousness, to clarify and integrate them. We work with conversation, body awareness, inner parts, role play or creative form of expression, always in a safe, appreciative space. Well, then there's the couples therapy. And it's like seeing the relationship as an opportunity for development. Because in couple therapy, I help couples to recognize deadlocked communication patterns, heal emotional wounds and re-establish lively, respectful contact. Relationship crises do not necessarily mean the end. They are often an expression of the fact that a new stage of development is imminent. So we look together at, where are misunderstandings, unspoken expectations or smoldering conflicts. And how can both partners feel heard and understood again? Which needs and boundaries should be communicated more clearly? And how can intimacy, trust and connection re-emerge? I work with both partners impartially. That means I don't take sides, but support both sides in showing themselves authentically and meeting each other anew. And then there's sex therapy. This often stands for the desire for sensuality, closeness and self-determination. Sexuality is a deeply personal and at the same time a central area of life. It is an expression of intimacy, pleasure, closeness, but also a place where shame, insecurity or pain can be felt. In sex therapy, I offer a safe space in which sexual issues can be discussed openly, without any judgment, taboos or coercion. And the possible topics include listlessness, orgasm difficulties or pain during sex, different sexual needs in the partnership, also uncertainties about identity, orientation or sexual preferences, effects of trauma or stressful experiences on sexuality, the desire for more fulfillment, mindfulness and communication in sexuality. The aim is to find or re-find a relaxed, self-determined and lively approach to one's own sexuality in harmony with one's own history, personality and the respective forms of relationship. So I hope I could give you a brief overview over the different forms of psychotherapy and what it is helpful for. With love, Dirk Liesenfeld.